Let's talk about the number 222. Hello, hello, lovely people. If you're new here, my name is Malorine from the Moon Lady School, and today we're going to be talking about the numerology and a bit of a card reading on the number 222. Now, if you're into spirituality, numbers are a really big deal. Numbers are ways that our guides and angels and our ancestors, they kind of hit at our intuition to give us messages. So seeing 222 or seeing 1111 or seeing 333, it kind of like sparks our interest and we're like, oh, ooh, that's interesting, seeing those numbers in a row. So what does 222 mean? Before I jump into the meaning and the card reading, I wanted to talk about a personal story with 222 for me. So picture it, Sicily. I'm joking. So picture it. February 22nd, 2022, we're being released from the pandemic. I was hosting a retreat in Mexico, in Oaxaca, and it was an Akashic Records retreat. It was amazing. I really loved teaching the Akashic Records and being able to do that in such a beautiful space with amazing people. I feel like it was like a blessing. So fast forward about 5 or 6 months before then, I kept seeing 222 everywhere. It was on my phone, it was on my clocks, it license plates everywhere. And it was, you see it once or twice and you're thinking, okay, it's a number. We're living in this world, we're gonna have numbers. But it was everywhere and it was constant. To look at the meaning and seeing that's about balance and connecting to your intuition, connecting to yourself. Let me try some things here. So I had this vision. I was just like, you know what? I was living in New York, upstate New York, and I love the snow and I love winter. But I was like, I wouldn't mind being in a warmer climate. I had all these ideas, like hosting a retreat, talking to people, leading a group. And I also added in, I wouldn't mind seeing myself on TV. And I thought, okay, let's just see what happens. A month after that, I received a request to host a retreat in Oaxaca, Mexico. And that was one thing already happening. And then while in Mexico, I received an email from a news station, a local news station in New York, but one that me and my siblings and my family watched growing up, News 12, to pretty much do a segment on live talking about the number 222. And I thought, okay, this is too much. This is crazy. I can't believe this is actually happening. So I said, yes, of course. I would love to talk about my work and talk about what 222 means on live TV. So already the two things that I asked for happened, and it happened at the same time. And blew my mind when it did happen on February 22nd, 2022. So yeah, I ended up doing the new segment. It was really quick.
Us to really connect to, okay, what do you really want, up to this point? That coupling can also happen internally, right? So you can also say, okay, well, what parts of myself do I need to work on to bring a more fuller sense of.
To top it all off, I was in Oaxaca, Mexico, filming this new segment in this beautiful space, hosting a retreat, which is what I wanted to do all along as well. So I say that all to say that the number 222 is really powerful. I know it becomes a little bit kind of broadcast everywhere online. You see articles and major publications writing about it, and it tends to lose its vitality, in my opinion. It kind of, when it's seen everywhere and everyone has their own interpretation, it takes away from the meaning of it. But my experience with numbers and with spirituality, and your experience as well, is really what drives it home. So for me, 222 is always going to be now a symbol of tapping into my manifestations, almost like making a wish, so to speak, and listening to your guides and intuition to make that happen. So remember before, for 5 months before, I was seeing the number 222 constantly. And my intuitive self just said, yes, like, what do you want right now? What will make you happy right now? And I said, hosting a retreat and talking about spirituality on TV. And I got those two things. And I don't feel like it's a formula. I'm not saying, the number 222 is like a magic genie, but I have used this concept for many years in my life. And I feel like it's almost like a signal that your angels are throwing out to you, just like, yeah, it's like you've been working really hard, you're on the grind, You've really been putting into spiritual work, you've been meditating, you've been healing. What can we give you? So yeah, that's kind of my story with the number 222. I love when I start to see that number because I feel like again it's starting to happen. Like I start to, it's almost like a kid having a birthday party. You're just like really excited. You're like, "Ooh, what kind of cake am I gonna get? What kind of candles? What kind of wish am I gonna make?" And that's how I see the number 222 for me personally. I hope this story helped you. So, the meaning of the number 222, we break down first the number two. So, the number two is about balance, it's about cooperation with not only others, but co creating, working together with spirit. That can be working with God, working with the goddess, working with the universe, working with your ancestors, working with spirit. Is working with an entity outside of yourself. It could also entail collaboration with a human person on this plane. But what I've noticed with 222, it's really about spirit asking you, hey, what can we do to help you with this? What can we do to make that dream happen? What do you want? Like, tell us, what do you want to happen? And working with spirit intuitively to make that exchange with spirit. The next meaning is about faith. Now, when I made those declarations of hosting a retreat and being on TV, it was something that, yeah, it could have been said flippantly. And then I could have gone back to a space of, oh, well, that's not going to happen anyway. Normally, I tend to be a little bit more realistic, kind of bordering pessimistic, I'm going to be honest. And that time, for some reason, I was just like, no, I believe that this is what's going to happen because I'm going to will it to happen. And lo and behold, that is what happened. So I do feel like having faith is a really important factor in this. You have to be able to declare what you want and really believe it. And I know it's hard to describe. And a lot of people say, oh, well, I said it, that therefore it is. But actually, that's not how it works. You really have to say it and full-heartedly believe that this is what's going to happen. So I feel like this really makes a big difference when you're dealing with the number 222. So another meaning of 222 is about being true to yourself. In order to co-create with universe, spirit, God, you have to first know what you want. Really accepting who you are, accepting your identity, accepting yourself full heartedly is a big part of the number 222. When I told the story, I had just cut my hair off. My hair was blue for the first time ever in my life. And I was such in a space of acceptance that I was like, yeah, I'm going to go on TV like that. Why not? Where maybe 10 years ago, that wouldn't have been the case. I was an academic. I was a lecturer. I think in my mind, I would think, oh, that's not professional. People would listen to me if I had blue hair talking about numbers. They would think I'm some wild woman off the street. But actually, especially in this day and age, it has actually maybe added to what I was saying. People believe what I said, and because I said it with confidence and conviction, it hit its mark. So that was really special. So I definitely feel like believing in yourself and really connecting to your identity is a huge part of the number 222. The number two is also about connecting with relationships. There is a factor in that. So it could be alerting you to have a look at the people around you, to think, are they in my best interest? Working with this particular group or this particular person, being in this relationship, is it fulfilling my needs? Am I happy where I am right now? So it does have you look at your environment, have a look around and say, okay, is this where I want to be right now? Is this who I want to be with right now? Is this who I want to be working with right now? So going back to my story, that's exactly what it alerted me to. I kept seeing 222 and it made me think, okay, I looked around, even though I was quite content where I was comfortable and yeah, pretty happy where I was living. But I thought, wouldn't it be nice to be in a warm environment? Wouldn't it be nice to actually lead a retreat on my own, to have something 7 days of working with people where I can intensely help them to connect to the Akashic records? Wouldn't that be amazing? So I do feel like it's important to look around at your environment and see, is this really where I want to be a few months from now? Is there something about my environment that needs to change? But I was working with a company that I really believed in, and those are the people I worked with for the retreat. So I really believed in this company, believe in their values. I love the owner. Everything just resonated. So for me, that was the connection. 222 alerted me to connecting with people who were on the same wavelength as me, who had similar values. She's a very kind and compassionate business owner, boss. And I thought that's the kind of person I want to work with. I don't want to work with anyone who is restricting me or making me feel like I can't discuss the things I want to talk about or belittling me in any way. So again, that 222 alerted me to that. Who would I want to work with and how do I want this relationship to show up? So have a think about that when you see the number 222. Now, lastly, the number 222, we add them together, 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6. So the number 6 has a vibration of intuition and connection and vulnerability. So when we see the number 222, what it's also asking you for is to connect to your intuition, but sometimes in that vulnerable space. So what I mean is that you might have to give over some of the reins to spirit or to God, that co-creation. A lot of times we are so intent, myself included, on doing things on our own and making it happen by ourselves. I feel like with the number 6, it's saying there is a sense of vulnerability with that because you are giving up control, some control, not all control. You are giving up some of it to an entity outside of yourself. And that can be hard for a lot of us. It's definitely hard for me. So hands up, I definitely have a hard time with that. But have a think about this. When 222 shows up for you, where are you holding on to control so tightly? Maybe things are not happening the way that you would like them to fully. I feel like 222 is an invitation to explore that and to see where are you holding onto control too tightly and where can you exist in a vulnerable, semi-vulnerable state where you can allow yourself to receive help. So this is my take on 222. Let's get into the reading now for the collective. Okay, thank you for joining me for the reading part. I'm going to be using the Mystical Moments Tarot. I love this deck. It's so mystical, to be honest. So let's have a look and see what messages are coming forth for the collective for the number 222. And I'm also going to be using this really cute fairy deck that I got on Etsy. Let's get any messages. I feel like a cute message would be good. Okay, we have the wild god, go to the woods, to moss, to mud, to magic. And look at this card, isn't it beautiful? It says here to step into the woods, step into moss, step into mud, step into magic. And that's that feeling of vulnerability, right? Imagine something prompting you, step into the mud. You see a mud puddle, step in it. You don't really want to. I don't want to step my shoes. I don't want to get wet. Who wants to step into mud? But I feel like this is again an invitation. The number 222 are your angels, your guides, God, spirit, asking you to take a chance. Go into it. There's magic in there. If you step into that vulnerable space, it might feel a bit intimidating, it might feel scary, but there's so much there for you to learn. Like for me to step out of my comfort zone and to even envision that, to be able to see myself on TV, I would have thought, okay, they would have been judged. There was a sense of rejection. People are going to think I'm nuts and all these things that were going into my head. And I thought, you know what? No, I wouldn't mind that. Why not? Right. And I didn't know how I was going to show up. I left that in the universe's hands. I left that in spirit's hands. And it was an amazing experience, even to go to Mexico. I ended up going again the following year. And again, another amazing experience. So enlightening. So many portals in Oaxaca. You have to go to Oaxaca if you haven't, but that's neither here nor there. The card of justice reverse. This is another one of letting go of that control. A lot of times, justice is about being able to dole out what is right, what is wrong, to say yes or no. It's either one or the other. Justice has the scales, right? So it's either black or it's white. It's either yes or no. It's either this or that. And that's someone who is very much in control of themselves, which is nothing wrong with this. But 222 is asking you to, hey, maybe there isn't just one way to do this. Maybe you have other options. Maybe there are other frames of looking at this situation, a different perspective. And that is really what 222 is about. It's really about connecting to a different way of looking at things, a different way of seeing, a different way of manifesting. So we have the card of Six of Swords. I love this card so much. I feel like 222 is prompting you to try something different. And I love as well because she's in a cloud going over the water, expanding your horizons. I feel like the six of swords is always about someone who's traveling by water, who's traveling to a new space. It doesn't have to be, you could stay within your country. 222 is prompting you to, try it out. Don't just stay local. Why don't you go a little bit bigger? Go really big, right? Imagine yourself on TV. Imagine yourself on stage. Go for that acting role. Go for that book deal. Go bigger, right? Just don't stay within your local space. And then we have the Eight of Cups. Again, kind of chiming off of the Six of Swords. The Eight of Cups is also about taking that challenge, taking that prompt to move forward, to go into the wilderness, go to the woods, go to the magic, step in the mud. This is about trying something different, seeing things from a different perspective, and co-creating with spirit, figuring out where have I been controlled, trying to keep control, trying to keep my composure, trying to keep everything level, when actually that might not be working for you all that all that well. Maybe it is time for a new adventure, a new experience. And I feel like the Eight of Cups, Six of Swords, and Justice Reverse are reiterating that. It's kind of reminding you to step out of your comfort zone. So thank you for joining me. I hope this helped. I also have a free download of journal questions in the link below. So feel free to check that out if you want to dive deeper into the number 222 and what it means for you. I have a series of journal questions, and you can also, it comes in the form of tarot questions as well. So you can pull tarot cards or you could just journal on it. So I hope this helps. Once again, my name is Malorine from the Moon Lady School. Have a wonderful rest of the month and speak soon. Blessed be and be blessed. Thank you.